Welcome to Agape. In case this is your first time, know that Agape is Greek, means unconditional love. Martin Luther King described it as the love of God operating through the human heart. I like to say that love is total, complete, and pure acceptance. So when I look in the mirror and I look at myself, I say, I love you, Lee. It means I accept you, Lee, just like you are. When I look at my wife and I say, I love you, I accept you as you are. When I look at anyone and I say, I love you, it means I accept them as they are. I have no desire to change. At Agape, we're here to teach practical spiritual tools that empower you to better self-love through conscious living. So if you're here, I'm grateful. And today I'm going to have a great time discussing things with you. But before we do, let's go within. Let's take a moment and get ourselves centered. So I invite you to sit comfortably, feet on the floor, hands gently resting on your lap, back is straight. Close your eyes for just a moment and take a deep breath in. With this next breath in, breathe in love. On the exhale, breathe out judgment. Breathe in love. Breathe out judgment. One last time, nourishing, purifying. Now notice how you've changed your state, how you feel differently than you did 30 seconds ago, simply by bringing your attention to your breath. The breath connects, the breath nourishes, the breath heals, the breath is life, breathing life into you. One of the greatest spiritual practices you can have is at those moments when you are being challenged is to just come back to the breath. You can let go, and the breath will always be there for you. Just sit for a moment, consciously, gently breathing in and out through the nose. And because you're conscious of the breath and only the breath, notice how you relax physically, mentally, and emotionally. You're coming from the perspective of the observer, knowing you have a body and you have a mind, but they are not who you are. You are a unique, whole individualization of the infinite. And as such, you're perfect right here, right now. It is in this perfect state that I invite you to be open to new ideas, to new possibilities that exist within you, always have existed within you. And with that in mind, gently bring yourself back to this time, to this place, to this day, moving easily and effortlessly. When you're ready, open your eyes, put a smile on your face, and become fully present. Today is a special day. I've taken questions that people have submitted from all over the world, and I'm going to talk about them. So today my talk title is simply this: Your Questions Answered. And when I talk about your questions answered, from my perspective, I'm not asking you to believe my answers, but I'm going to give you my answers so that you may look at them, discern for yourself whether they work for you or they don't work for you. I used to call this talk title in the past, Stump the Minister. Give me your best. Let me see what I can offer back to you. The first question that came is, do your values change over time? So a little background here is I'm a real believer that when we know our top values, our top 3 to 5 values, and we make them the basis of all of our life, we live a life that's on purpose and fulfilling. Most people do not know their values. That's something we teach at Agape, and it comes out of the work of Dr. John DeMartini. And I highly value that. I'm a licensed facilitator with Dr. John. I've had the training. And so people ask, do your values change over time? And the fact is, they do. When I was younger, let's go back 25, 30 years ago, my top values were number 1, being a father, number 2, moving up the corporate ladder. To give you an idea, today my number 1 value is to become more aware. My number 2 value is to teach. Being a father is not a value, a high value in my life at all. Rising up the corporate ladder does not exist in my values anymore. Values change as we change. And it's how life is supposed to be, because life is about constant evolution and change. The second question I got is, what type of meditation is best? I know you learned transcendental meditation, yet you seem to like others. Yeah, I don't know that there is a best meditation. I think it's about you. So I have learned transcendental meditation. I've been initiated into Kriya Yoga, Vipassana. I've been initiated into the meditation by Blue Mountain Meditation, which was Sri Eksharan, his meditation form. I've learned Sri Vidya, and I've tried many other forms of meditation, some taught by Osho. Here's what I understand. It's all about stilling the mind. Whatever meditation you can learn that will still your mind, that will cause you to think less, to be more present in the moment, is the right one. As people ask me, are guided meditations good? It's a great place to start. Absolutely great place to start. What I would say is the simplest meditation is probably the best overall throughout my practice, and that is where I sit in a comfortable position, my eyes are closed, and I bring all my awareness to my breathing. Just simply focusing on breathing in and breathing out with no other intention. But at the same time, I do use Sri Vidya. At times I do Kriya Yoga. At times I do Vipassana. There are times that I do Transcendental. There are times when I do a guided meditation. It depends on my frame of mind, but here's what I'll tell you. I meditate twice every day. Whatever you choose to be your practice, you must be persistent and consistent with it. How would you describe Agape to someone who's never heard of it? I would say Agape is a community of individuals who've come together to support each other as they better learn how to self-love through conscious living. At Agape, we teach the science of mind written by Ernest, which is a practical way of living. It is centered in the practice of meditation and spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of affirmative prayer. So we're addressing through meditation connection to the infinite, and through spiritual mind treatment, affirmations, gratitude, we're actually using the power of the infinite mind to create our life experience. You can use and come to Agape regardless of whatever spiritual path you may be on, because we don't see any path as being wrong. We see every path as being unique. We're a practical approach to spirituality. What is the best spiritual retreat you've ever been to? Every single one of them. Because every single one of them has caused me to go within, to reflect, to step outside of the day-to-day living. I've been on ministerial retreats. I've been on retreats in India, in Tibet. I've been on retreats in Peru. I've been on, I can't tell you how many retreats I've been on. Here's the key thing. The retreat you go on will be whatever you want it to be. It's your intention about the retreat that makes the most impact. How do you still, this is a great question. How do you stop self-judgment? The best answer I've got for that is practice self-acceptance. Sit down and make a list of everything that you love about yourself. And realize that everything you love about yourself, the opposite exists within you. There are 4,628 human traits, according to Dr. John DeMartini. And we have all of them. When you can finally say, I own all these traits, accept that they're all in you, but you get to choose which ones you bring forth. You are a saint and you are a murderer. You have the trait. The question is, where will you put your energy? Your journey is a journey of learning how to better self-love, and you can only do that through conscious living, learning who you are and channeling all your energy into becoming the greatest you can imagine in that area. How do you get rid of extreme anxiety and fear of death? Well, you have to become friends with death. You have to decide, what does death mean to you? What I've understood is the basis of what I teach is that there is an infinite. You can call it spirit, you can call it God, you can call it this, but it is not a super being. That's a humans putting an anthropomorphized idea on God. In other words, giving God human qualities. I don't believe that. I believe God is infinite mind, infinite consciousness, and that God created everything out of it, and I'm created out of it, as are you. And because I'm an individualization of it, it never dies, therefore I never die. And so what I understand my life to be is a conscious awakening to my infinite nature that goes on forever. So for me, death is moving from one plane of existence into another. That's as simple as I can make it. So I look at life as an eternal journey. And in that eternal journey, I just have to live each moment and not worry about anything that I have no control over. When I breathe my last breath in this body, I want to make sure that I've given everything I possibly can into this planet to experience whatever I might. I have no fear of death. I have an excitement for life. How do I discover my juice? I know I talk about what's your juice all the time. Comes from doing the values workshop, learning what's most important to you. And when you finally get what's most important to you, you're always juiced. Can you tell? I love to teach. It's my number 2 value. I love to become more aware of my number 1. My number 3 value, personal health and well-being. My number 4 value is interpersonal connection. Whenever I'm doing those things, I'm automatically juiced. I can't wait to do them. But it means slowing down and doing a self-evaluation. I highly suggest you do a values workshop with me. Highly suggested. One will be coming up on November the 12th. It'll be Zoom. You can go to Agape Spiritual Center and find out when that one is or when others are. Do you believe in reincarnation? If not, what becomes of the soul after death? I believe that reincarnation is a possibility. Is it something I know for sure? No. Have I done past life regressions through hypnosis? Yes. Do I believe that what I heard in the past life regressions, what came out, was a prior life? I don't know. See, what I know is in hypnosis, the subconscious mind plays out. So whatever's in my subconscious mind is going to come out in my past life regression. Do I believe there are infinite possibilities of where we can exist? Yes, because I believe, what did the Bible say? There are many rooms in my mansion. I would take that and say there are many dimensions. There's infinite dimensions to life because the infinite is infinite and you're an expression of the infinite. Therefore, you will infinitely be expressing. In fact, you could be expressing in many dimensions right here and now, but because of your ego, you're only aware of the one you're in. These are wonderful things to talk about, but what I really want to tell you is be fully present now, because that's all that matters. What about wanting for someone to do something they promised and not being able to push them? Suggestions? And it's waiting for someone to do something. How many of you have kids? You would love for them to do this, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting. And they'll tell you they want to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it, but they don't do it. If someone's telling you they're going to do something and they don't do it, guess what? It's not one of their top values. It may be one of yours, and maybe the easiest way to get you off their back is to say, yeah, I'll do it. Same thing with a spouse, same thing with someone at work. So what I've learned is I know what my spouse's top values are. So when I ask her something and it's not on her top value list, guess what? There'll be procrastination involved. Here's what you do. You ask someone, and then if you ask them, let it go. If they're not doing it and you've got a time frame, maybe you got to do a different thing. Maybe you've got to hire someone to do it, or maybe you do it yourself if it's a high value to you. But the second you start pushing them, you're in judgment, and they're going to push back, and you're not going to have a very good relationship. Define a meaningful life. Whew, simple question. What it is, living your highest values. If you're living your highest values every moment of every day, when you die, your life will be meaningful and it will be fulfilled. And here's the key thing. All that matters is what you deem is meaningful and what you deem is fulfilling. You are not here to live up to the expectations, wants, and desires of anyone else. You are here to be the greatest authentic you that you can be. What are the best spiritual practices for spiritual growth? Number 1, meditation. Number 2, directing the creative power through either spiritual mind treatment, affirmations, mantras, visualization, or affirmations, and gratitude. We are creators, so it's basically connecting and creating. You could actually say on the connecting part, can you be mindfully walking, fully present walking? So it's not just silent meditations, it's any form of meditation. And then there's the creative aspect. We are here. And guess what? Here's the greatest thing. Our conscious ability to create comes from knowing that we're connected. The two are right there. You can't separate them. So you use practices that engage both of them. That's what I've got for right now. If something came up as we were talking today, and you would like to ask a question for the next time I do this, write it in the comments. And I'll keep that list of questions to bring to you. This is what we're about at Agape. We're about asking questions so that people can form their own conclusions. Because I don't know what's right for you, but you do if you stop and listen. So I want to thank you for being with me today. And if you feel that this was worthwhile and you'd like to contribute to Agape, go to agapespiritualcenter.com and make a donation. It is through your donation that we continue to spread this work. Also, I want to invite you, when you're at agapespiritualcenter.com, check out all of the events, the classes, everything we're offering all the time to people all over the world, because we are virtual as well as we have a physical plant. We would love for you to plug in and know that when you come and join us, we won't judge you, but we'll support you as you uncover your greatest self. Make this your greatest week ever. Until next time, much love.